Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. A 41-year-old Minnesota resident, Victoria White, headed to the Capitol following Donald Trump's speech at the Ellipse. She was seen scaling a wall to reach the upper entry level of the building, and she headed over to the lower west terrace. And to her credit, she intervened when she saw a man who was using a bat to try to break a Capitol window. Some of the other members of the mob yelled at him to stop, and White was seen on video. She grabbed his arm and she tried to wrestle him away from the window. From there, White headed over to the lower west terrace tunnel. That's where things took a negative turn for her. She stood outside for a while. She was watching as other people were physically fighting with the police and assaulting them with weapons. And as the mob began their heave-ho collective push against the officers, White was seen cheering. She was raising her arms in celebration. She then moved closer to the tunnel, and she was seen on video helping to push a man up and onto a ledge just outside of the tunnel's entrance. The man then hung off of the archway of the tunnel, and he was kicking officers in the head with his boots. The violence didn't deter her, though. In fact, the prosecutor says that was when White became so determined to enter the tunnel. She forced her way through the crowd, which was so dense that in the process, she, quote, lost her jacket, her hat, the flag tied around her shoulders, and even her shoes. White was then seen on video forcing her way into the tunnel, and according to body cam footage, White leveraged herself against the tunnel wall, and she was pushing against the police and their shields. So she was pushing with her hand. She had her back leveraged against the side of the tunnel. So that's when one officer struck her with his baton. He tried to get her to stop. And the prosecutor said that because of her refusal to leave the tunnel, the police ended up just pulling her through the police line, and they placed her in custody. They placed her under arrest inside the Capitol. However, as with so many others, she was released a short time later because the police had nowhere to hold these people. They had no way to get them through the mob to the police station, so they couldn't be transported to a local jail or anywhere else because the mob was so dense. So the following day, White posted on Facebook under the fake name of Janice Marie Evans, because, you know, it's what people do when they're proud of what they've done. She wrote, quote, I was maced, beat with a metal baton, and detained by Capitol Police yesterday. In all the mess, I lost my shoes, my jacket, which had my cell phone, my driver's license, and my U.S. bank card in it. Then came the posts, of course, about non-existent Antifa members. White claimed that the man who was trying to break the window, the man with the Trump sticker on the back of his helmet, he was Antifa, and she stopped him. Because, you know, MAGA is filled with nothing but law-abiding citizens. So then White became defiant. Now, while using a fake name, of course, White/Janice Evans posted again on Facebook, quote, I'm not scared. I was in the Capitol detained. They are coming for me. I am not afraid of them or anyone. There, I said it. Come get me. You don't know the story. It's not what you think. She went on to give several media interviews and she did live streams, and White continued to post on social media. Of course, she framed January 6th as peaceful. She portrayed the police as the aggressors, and White claimed that the police hit her with the baton simply because she told them that they took an oath to the Constitution. But White admitted that she was, quote, angry because, quote, Pence didn't do what he's supposed to. Yet in posts and interviews, she maintained that she did nothing wrong and that the charges against her were completely false. Here's an idea. Don't go in the tunnel. Don't go in the tunnel when the police are actively trying to keep you out. So White was arrested on April 8th of 2021, and she was indicted on charges of civil disorder, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct. In January of 2022, while White was awaiting trial, she filed a $1 million lawsuit against the DC police and claimed that they assaulted, injured, and falsely imprisoned her on January 6th. White's lawsuit says that she was hit with the baton at least 35 times and punched in the face. I'm no expert, but it seems that if a man hit a woman with a baton 35 times and punched her, she would be dead. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm not sure of the status of that lawsuit. I found the original filing, but I couldn't locate any updates. So if I hear any more or when I hear any more, I will definitely let you all know. But 1 year after filing her lawsuit, White apparently agreed to a plea deal, and she was supposed to appear for a plea hearing in February of this year, 2023. However, it was revealed in a news article that same month that White texted someone and said she never wanted to take a plea deal. Then she went on a podcast, and this was the following month, and she insisted that she was still innocent and that she was brutalized by the police. Then the prosecutor also found out that White violated the terms of her pretrial release because she traveled to D.C. in early 2023 to meet with other January 6 defendants and their families. So the plea deal was called off, and it was reported that White was headed to trial. She was supposed to go to trial on May 8th of this year. And over the course of the past 3 years, White has had 3 different attorneys, and at one point she even represented herself. Well, the trial never happened, and then in August of 2023, White ended up pleading guilty to the felony charge of civil disorder. So she was looking at up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested only 4 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. A ridiculously low sentence considering her violent criminal history. In 2006, the prosecutor said White was charged with multiple instances of assault and disorderly conduct. She took a plea deal for assault and she received probation only. In 2007, White rammed her car into the car of someone with whom she was dating. So she was charged with damage to property with foreseeable risk of bodily harm. Once again, she took a plea deal. She received 30 days in jail plus probation. In both 2008 and 2013, White was charged for driving under the influence. Again, she took plea deals. And then White continued to commit crimes even after the Capitol attack. In December of 2022, White was again charged with domestic assault and disorderly conduct. But sure, tell me again how the police were the aggressors on January 6th. So U.S. District Judge John Bates presided over White's case, and I so wish I could tell you what was said in court because I have a feeling it was very entertaining. Unfortunately, as I've said before, this judge is hit and miss. This was another huge miss. White was sentenced to a pathetic 10 days in prison and 2 years of probation, which includes 90 days of home detention. This is absurd. When you consider that she has shown zero remorse, she was still out allegedly violently criming while she's awaiting sentencing for this case. She has a history of violence, and he gives her 10 days. You'd think the baton would have knocked some sense into her, but nope. Anyway, I will let you all know when or if I hear more about this woman. I have a feeling it's going to be when. I will definitely let you know what happens with that other case of hers. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if possible. Love you all. Take care. I will talk with you soon.